Okay, hi everyone. If something just came up on your screen, you can click on "Got it." If you got that pop up there, that's just letting you know that the class is now being recorded for future use. So you'll have this recording after the class today. So I want to welcome everyone. We have a bunch of new students with us, joining us for the first time, one of their first classes with us. And I want to welcome you. We're very happy to have you here. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about the program that I started and what we're going to be doing today. First of all, my name is Jorn Mittler. I created this program about 5 years ago based on an experience with my own grandparents who had difficulty with their smartphones. And I decided to make this bigger. And over the past couple of years, we've now developed this program into a business where we're offering professional tech education to senior citizens. And we actually believe that it's the responsibility of our generation, the younger generation, to step in and make sure that seniors feel connected in the world of technology. Joe, you can go to the next slide. We're going to be doing things a little bit differently this year if you've taken a class with us in previous years. So don't worry if this is your first class. Everyone's starting on the same playing field. Let me first, I always like to start off our class by just going over our mission statement, which basically says that it's the responsibility of our generation to educate seniors about technology. The goal of our program is to cure the issue of social isolation within senior communities and to help seniors feel connected with our new world of technology. Our personalized classes strive to educate seniors on how to communicate with friends and family in the manner in which the world is accustomed to today, and how to use technological tools to enhance and simplify their daily lives. This is something that we've had and we're very passionate about, and we hope that you'll leave today's class knowing a little bit more about how to use your computer and smartphone. Okay. And also, we're very proud. Just our metrics prove the success of our program. Over the course of the past few years, we've educated over 2,000 seniors in 10 different countries. And we've taught over 200 classes. The one that you're about to experience today is one we've taught a few times before. But we are very proud of what we've done in the past few years, and we hope to continue this year and in years beyond to continue to inspire and educate seniors. Okay, so this screen I'm actually going to put up at the end of the class. Joe, you could go to the next one. This slide here, which has a bunch of information about where you can get more from us. So we have our social media networks. We have our YouTube channel, which is where you will find the recording not only of today's class, but also of previous classes that you're more than welcome to take advantage of. We have our website here, which has information about what's going on, our upcoming programming. And then if many of you actually did this already, but if you want to enroll in a full 10-lesson course, you should go to our website. It's bolded here that says portal.mittlerseniortech.com. This is where you could enroll in one of our most professional classes, either computer basics or advanced computers. You could ask someone that's taken one of these classes before. It's an unbelievable experience where you are able to take one of these classes at your own pace. And this is something that we will put on the screen at the end of today's class. So you'll have this. You don't need to be writing this down. We'll make sure to send it to you and put it at the end of the class today. We also send out messages about the classes via WhatsApp and our email list. I believe the majority of you received information about this class through those platforms. So most of you are on those chats, but if you are not, you can stay afterwards or send me an email. My email is at the bottom of the screen, and I'll be happy to add you. You're also welcome to send us emails about any questions that you have. I'll be happy to address anything. Okay, so what's going to be going on today? Today is the first lesson of our monthly classes. This semester, we're doing things a little bit differently in order to encourage you to experience our full 10-lesson courses through the portal. We are, as opposed to doing our full classes on Zoom, we're going to be having classes once a month. And many of you have registered on that website. You had the 8 options of different classes. You'll see the dates there. And I will, if you don't remember everything, I will make sure to send you the week of each class, what will be covered, when it will be taking place, the Zoom information, all that. Once you're in our email list, there's nothing that you have to worry about in terms of receiving information. So today's lesson is actually very interesting. We're going to be talking about entertainment. which is watching videos online, listening to music online, how to stay active by being entertained on the internet, and also how to use certain online shopping platforms. So how to put an item into your cart, how to know which websites are safe to use, how to filter a search so you could find exactly what you're looking for. All this stuff will be covered in today's lesson. So we're going to start now with entertainment. This is something that I'm sure many of you who have taken a class with us before have seen, but this is definitely going to be a great refresher for you if this is a class that you've taken before. So we're going to be focusing today on 4 of the most popular and common platforms. Now there are many others. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of platforms on iPads, computers, smartphones that you could use to watch videos and to listen to music and to listen to podcasts, listen to the radio. I mean, it's actually there's an infinite amount of things you could do by using these platforms. We're going to be focusing today on 2 platforms that are used for video and 2 that are used for music and podcasts. So for video, we're going to look at Netflix and YouTube. I'm sure even if you haven't used one of these before, there are things that you're definitely familiar with. You see them in the news all the time. And then in terms of audio, we have Spotify and Apple Music. All of which are very popular. I'm sure you've heard about them. We're going to be going through exactly how to use these platforms and what makes each one different. So we're going to start with the video platforms, and we're going to look at YouTube and Netflix. I just want to point out before we get into this, just very broadly, YouTube is a free platform, meaning you can go to that platform on your internet, on your phone, on your computer, and you can find videos. And that does not charge anything, but you typically won't get access to full content. For example, if you want to watch a 2-hour movie, you typically won't get that on YouTube. Occasionally you will, so sometimes you might want to check before paying for a movie on another platform, but YouTube typically is for shorter clips. Whether it's a music video or maybe a scene from a Broadway show that you really enjoy, or maybe it's rewatching today's class on YouTube. But typically when you want to watch a full movie or something in its completion, you won't always find that on YouTube, and that's why it's a free platform. Netflix, on the other hand, is actually built and designed for watching movies and television shows. And this does cost a monthly subscription. It actually ranges from $8.99 to $17.99, depending on what you're using it for, how many people you have that are watching and using your Netflix account. For the most part, the cheapest plan should work for most of you today, I believe. But Netflix is designed for watching full TV shows and movies. And Netflix actually has a broad variety of content, but it's always changing. So for some reason, maybe a television show isn't so popular this month, Netflix might take it down and replace it with something else. So Netflix is constantly changing their repertoire of movies and television shows in order to give you a variety. And also Netflix actually makes a ton of their own content, which is only accessible on Netflix. So everything really has their pros and cons. We are going to start with YouTube today. So let's go to the next slide. I'm going to read a little bit about it, just so everyone gets a little familiar with what YouTube is. So like I said, it's a free video sharing website that makes it easy to watch online videos. You could even create and upload your own videos to share with others. And most of you won't be doing that, creating and uploading. But if you are interested in doing that, that's also completely free. There's no charge for doing that. Originally created in 2005, YouTube is now one of the most popular sites on the web, with visitors watching around 6 billion hours of video each month. So you can see that YouTube is just super popular, both in school, out of school, in offices, for personal use. It's really used everywhere. So YouTube has an app that you could download on your smartphones. We're not going to be looking at the app today. We're going to be looking at YouTube access on the internet. But if you are interested, if you do really like YouTube and you want to use it, on your smartphone or on your iPad or on any of your tablets, you can go to the App Store or Google Play Store, as we've shown you before, and just put in YouTube, and you'll be able to actually download the app to your device. But this is absolutely not required. You could always use YouTube from the internet access, and that's what we're going to show you today. So Joe, if you can X out of this. Let's open up the internet. Depending on what internet browser you use, Joe's currently using Chrome, but some of you use Apple Safari, Microsoft Explorer, Internet Edge. Any of those platforms are fine. You want to open up the internet as you normally did, as you did today, to open up your email, and you'll be taken typically to the Google page. If not, then you'll be taken to some. You'll definitely see a search bar somewhere. That's kind of what you're looking for to make sure you're in the right place. You'll see on Joe's screen, it's all the way at the top. There's a blinking cursor there, meaning that when he uses his keyboard to type something, that text will appear at the top left of the screen. If you are on the Google page, Google actually makes YouTube very easy to access. There is a button towards the top right of the screen. You might have to move these Zoom faces to see it, but it has 9 dots, 9 dots in like an array. And if you click on those 9 dots, you'll actually see one of the options. It's in the second row, will say YouTube, and it has a little play, red button. This is one of the ways to access YouTube if you are starting on Google. You will only see these 9 dots if you have opened up Google. The other option, which is just the same way you would go to any website, is by typing into the search bar at the top of the screen, youtube.com. That's the website, youtube.com. And when you put that in, you'll be taken to the same place you would if you clicked on the 9 dots, which is the YouTube homepage. So you could open up that. And once you have YouTube open, you'll actually see a ton of different things. It might take a second to load because it is loading a ton of videos for your own use. But here, so you'll actually see that there's a search bar at the top of the screen. Does everyone see that? Now, this search bar is different from what's up here because this search bar is specific for YouTube, which means that anything you put into that search bar, you will be searching the YouTube platform only. But if you search up here, this is the search bar that you would search for the entirety of the internet. So you want to make sure that you're putting the information into the correct search bar. So in this case, I'm using this search bar over here, which is the YouTube search bar. You'll also see that there are some buttons on the left side of the screen. It says Home. Now, Home is what we're looking at now, which has some popular videos that are currently streaming on YouTube. There's an Explore button where you could explore different categories. Typically, when you go to YouTube, I would say for the most part, you know what you're looking for. So I want to watch this episode of Jeopardy. That's why I went to YouTube, and I'm just going to type that into. That's why I'm going to type that into the search bar. Very occasionally. And not so often you would go to YouTube just to browse the content. Some people do like doing that, but I would say for the most part, you're going to put something into the search bar. If you are interested in exploring the content, you can click on the Explore button on the left. You'll also see, if you scroll down, Joe, on the homepage, you'll also see some different sections. So if we keep scrolling, you'll see that there are some different sections. This one says COVID-19 news. If we keep going, you'll see some more sections. But basically, YouTube is grouping some of these videos into certain sections for you so that you're looking for some. So if you're very interested in COVID-19 news, you could just browse that row of videos as opposed to kind of searching the entire YouTube platform. So let's actually say I went to the YouTube page and I want to watch a specific video. For today's purpose, we could just pull up one of our previous classes so that you could see how you could do that. And you'll see how Joe's typing in to the search bar, Mittler Senior Technology. Now you have a ton of options in Mittler Senior Technology, which is the name of the channel. That's the name of the content creator who uploaded the video. But you could also put in, maybe class on entertainment from October 10th. And, maybe something will come up, or you could type in senior tech, whatever. There are a ton of different search terms that you want to put in, but you want to make sure it's the most specific as possible. So in terms of finding something from Mittler Senior Technology, which is a little more specific, it probably makes sense to put in that title, Mittler Senior Technology. But maybe if you're looking for, I don't know, on New Year's, if you're looking for the show on New Year's, it's not always necessary to put in as long of a description, but things will come up naturally because YouTube knows what you're looking for. So Joe will put in Mittler Senior Technology and click on the return or enter key on his keyboard, and that will load Mittler Senior Technology into the YouTube panel. Now you'll see at the top, you'll always get some advertisements, which you typically can avoid. You'll see how the advertisements are all about senior technology because YouTube recognized what you put into the search bar and it knows that's what you're interested in. So it's giving you those advertisements. And that is called digital tracking, where it knows what you're interested in and is promoting and presenting advertisements that will clearly show of interest to you. Now, if we keep scrolling, you'll see how typically the first option will be the channel itself. So where it says Mittler Senior Technology with that white circle in our logo, if you click on that, you'll be taken to the channel. Now, a channel on YouTube is where you'll see all of the content created by this one creator. So if you click on that first line where it says Mittler Senior Technology, you'll see all the content created by this channel. So you'll see typically the name of the channel at the top, how many subscribers they have. You'll typically see a video, which is one that they want you to watch when viewers first come to the page. And if you scroll down, you'll see some different sections, including uploads, which are our most recent videos, and some playlists, which are groups of videos. So you'll see how we have one called Special Classes and one called Press. And if you click on those, you'll see all the videos that we have personally assembled into those categories. More importantly, you'll see at the top some categories here. Now, these categories are specifically for this channel. So if you click on videos, you'll see all the videos that Mittler Senior Technology has uploaded. So you'll see, you could scroll down, you could browse through these are all the videos that we've uploaded in the past. If you go to playlists, just like I mentioned before, you'll see the kind of groups of videos that we have posted in the past. So if Joe clicks on Spring 2021, for example, and if he clicks on that, he'll see lessons 1 through 10, all the 10 videos of our spring 2021 semester. So we've actually done some of the hard work for you and have grouped some of these videos into one unit so that when you're browsing through channels, you can go to playlists and see some of these groups. Not just Mittler Senior Technology, but almost all channels have playlists that are built for you so that when you click on them, it will actually pull up groups of videos that are already categorized so that you don't have to look and keep using the search bar. So you'll see, let's use this video as an example. I'm currently watching a video, some basic buttons that I'm sure you're familiar with. We have the play and pause button all the way at the bottom left. When it's a sideways triangle, that means the video is paused. You'll see how nothing's happening. The video is frozen. When Joe clicks on that button and it becomes 2 lines, that means that the video is currently playing. And you'll see that it will move, it will play. Now, some of the other buttons which you don't have to pay attention to, we have the volume button over here, which you could increase or decrease your volume. This is different from the volume on your keyboard that you typically would use to raise or lower the volume, because this volume is specifically for this YouTube video. So you'll increase or decrease the volume, and that will change the volume coming out of this video. You'll see there's a CC button. A few of you have actually asked me in the past, how do I put closed captioning on your video? Well, there's actually a button right at the bottom right that says CC. Go ahead and click on that, and YouTube will add in captioning at the bottom of the screen. Then all the way at the bottom right, there's a full screen button, which if you click on, it just makes the viewing experience a lot nicer, where you will take this video and make it full screen. So Joe, you could show what that looks like. You'll see how it's just a little bit bigger and nicer and easier to watch and pay attention to a video when it takes up the entirety of your screen. You could X out of this full screen just by clicking on that same button at the bottom right, and it will bring you back to that page where it's a little bit smaller and you have the other options. Now you'll see if we scroll down a little bit, you'll see the date that the video was put on YouTube. You'll also see a caption that the creator has put there. So you'll see how I put a message there that you'll see every time you open up this video. And also on the right of the screen, you'll see recommended videos. Now this section will have videos that people who have watched this video have watched next. So for example, you'll see, because I'm watching this video by Mittler Senior Technology, the first 2 here are 2 of our other videos. It's recommending that if you enjoy this video, you will probably like these 2 videos, which are also by the same creator. You'll also get some other videos that probably are a little less related, but this is definitely a nice panel to look at in terms of what you should watch next if you're looking, because it will recommend titles based on what you have watched just now and what you have watched previously. So this is the YouTube kind of panel homepage, and it doesn't matter which video you're watching, you'll always see the same sections where you'll see the title, the date that that video was uploaded there, the most recent videos, and suggestions for videos to watch next. And you'll also see those play, volume, closed captioning, and full screen buttons on the bottom of the page. Okay. I think we covered everything that I wanted to with YouTube. There are a few of you that have mentioned to me about uploading to YouTube, how to upload your own content. That's something that I don't really want to cover in today's class because I don't think it's relevant to most of you. But if you were to do that, you'll see a button at the top right that says a plus. It's a little plus icon. And if you click on that button, you could actually upload content to your YouTube channel and share that with whomever you would like. And there are different privacy modes, so you don't need to share it with the entire world if you want, but you could set it so only people with the link could access it. So if you are worried about privacy, there is ways to control that, but we're not going to get into that today because I believe for the most part, the people here who would be using YouTube is for your own enjoyment, for watching content as opposed to uploading your own. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. You'll see how YouTube is a very user-friendly, simple website to use, but just like everything, it takes practice. So if you haven't used it so often, I recommend after today's class, trying it out. And also you could always rewatch today's presentation if you missed a certain piece of the class. But like I said at the beginning, YouTube is most commonly for smaller videos as opposed to full movies or full television shows. And that's why we're also going to talk about Netflix today. So Netflix is put in the same category as a program like Hulu or Amazon Prime or HBO Max. A lot of these are Showtime. There are a lot of these platforms that give you access to full movies and television shows. Almost all of them cost some sort of monthly subscription. And Joe, if you go to the next slide, I actually just put as a chart here, you'll see that there are some different price options for Netflix. The cheapest, which is $8.99, the only difference that I think would be visible to you is the number of screens. So for example, $8.99 has 1 screen at a time, 2 screens, and 4 screens. So for example, if you are in a family of 5 people and 4 of you and more than 4 of you are watching at the same time, it will say there's too many people watching. But for the most part, at least the basic and the standard plans should be fine. It all depends on how many people in your household or how many people you share your login information with will be watching on Netflix at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to pass it over to Julia, who you guys haven't met yet, so she'll introduce herself, to open up Netflix, which you could do on the internet as well on an app, like I mentioned with YouTube, and how to access it, and also what makes it different from YouTube. Okay.
Hi guys, I'm Julia. I'm super excited to be teaching the classes again. So I'm going to explain Netflix to you, similar to how we accessed YouTube on Google. You're able to access Netflix the same way. There is the option of downloading Netflix as an app on either your phone or your computer, but right now we're just going to access it through the internet. So you can see that Joe right now has his cursor on the search bar, and all you need to do is type in Netflix and it will bring you to the website. So if you don't have an account set up right now, you could see that it's going to make you start setting up your account. You can either sign in, that means you already have an account with an email and a password, and you're going to log into that pre-existing account. Or if you don't have an account yet, to the main box in the middle of the screen to get started and create a new account. So we already have an account, so we're going to press on that sign in button on the top of the screen and log into our account. So as you can see, it has you type in an email address and a password to log into your account. And once you type in that information, you would press sign in, and it's going to bring you into your Netflix account. So again, if you don't have an account on Netflix yet, you're not going to press on that sign in button. You're going to instead press on the sign up button, and you're going to create a new account by putting in all of the information that it prompts you to, and then you can create a new account on Netflix. So right now, Joe's just signing into his Netflix account. And once he types in the password, he's going to press on that red sign in button, and it's going to bring him into his Netflix account.
Joe, you want to put mine in?
Okay, so you could see once you open up Netflix here on Jordan's account, he has multiple different profiles. So each of the members of his family made a different profile. And that means that when they click on their profile, it's going to have like the shows that they've been watching and recommended shows for them. So this is just a way to sort of divide up your Netflix account so that if you're sharing it with multiple people, you don't see what shows they're watching and it doesn't recommend shows that you wouldn't like. So it's more specific to each person. So each person has their own profile, which you can create on Netflix. So right now, Jordan can click on his profile and it will show the shows that he's in the middle of watching and shows that he would like.
Give that to me.
So once you click on your profile on Netflix, you could see on top here, this is a show that's really popular on Netflix right now, and it's trying to get you to watch this show. You could see that it's giving you like a little introduction to the clip. And if you scroll down, there's a bunch of different categories on Netflix that you can browse through. You can see that there's a watch it again. So these are all shows that Jordan's already watched, recently added. So these are shows that were just added onto Netflix. My list, so that's like a list that's personalized to Jordan based on shows that he's seen in the past. And he can just scroll through. And if he chooses any one of these shows and clicks on it, he's able to begin watching that show. You could also see that on the top, if you click on one of these shows, it gives you more information about that show. And then once you press on it, you can start watching the show. So you could see here that when he clicks that little more info arrow, it gives him more information about the show. It also says 97% match. So it's recommending this show to Jordan based on other things he's seen previously. It thinks that it's like a good fit for him. You could see different like information about the show. And if you want to start watching it, then you would click on that play button and that would start playing the show for you. And if you want to search for a more specific show, so you know that you want to watch something, instead of browsing through all of them and looking for it, you can click tab, which is that same magnifying glass that we've seen. And if you type into that a specific show or a movie that you want to watch, if it's on Netflix, it will come up. As Jordan said, not everything is on Netflix, and Netflix constantly is changing like the programs that it has available. So you could see that he typed in Jeopardy, and if it's not available, then it's not going to come up. But here he typed in Wheel of Fortune, and it's the first thing that comes up. If he wants to play that, he can press that little play button. And if he's not sure and he wants to see more information, he would press the arrow and read more about it. So once you click on that episode, you could see that right now Jordan is in the middle of an episode. And if he wants to go back, he would press on that little 10 with the arrow facing backwards. That's going to go back 10 seconds. So let's say he missed something, or let's say he wanted to go forwards, he would press the 10, which would fast forward 10 seconds. And you could see that it says the episode in the middle. And then as we discussed before, if you want to watch the episode in full screen, which is like more user friendly, then you would click on that button all the way on the right with the box, and that would enlarge the picture for you. And if you want to go back, you would press on that same button and make it smaller. If you want to add closed captions, like we spoke about for YouTube, you would click on that little chat icon, and that allows you to put on subtitles. So if you want to read the words along with listening to the audio, you can do that. And if you click on the little play button with this line over here, the first icon, that will skip to the next episode. So if you realize that you don't want to watch this one, you want to watch the next one, you're able to do that. And then right next to it is a bunch of boxes that will allow you to browse all the episodes within the screen. So let's say you want to choose a new one or a different season, you're able to do that also. And then if you go out and let's say Jordan wanted to watch specifically a movie and he didn't want to have to browse through all of the different TV shows, you could see that all the way on the top of the screen is a list of categories. So if Joe were to click on movies, it would now refine his search and only movies are showing up on this screen. So he can now scroll through again. He could also filter it by genre. So you could see that there's a bunch of different options. Let's say he knew he wanted to watch a fantasy movie. He now clicked on that and all of the pictures that are showing right now are movies that fall under the fantasy genre. So he doesn't need to look through a bunch of extra programs. He's able to search and he's able to refine his homepage to just things that he's looking for.
Okay, thank you, Julia. I hope that gave everyone a sense of how to use Netflix. Once again, Netflix does cost a monthly fee. So for those of you who have not used Netflix before, or haven't been familiar with it and you want to start using it, this is something that you have to pay a fee for. It isn't too expensive. It's around $8.99 a month at its cheapest value, which works for most of you, because even though it says one screen, that means that, for example, if there are two people in your household, you could both watch, just not at the exact same time on different devices, which doesn't happen that much. So the basic plan should be fine for most of you. Okay, so let's actually now go over to the music and radio listening, which we will mention very, very quickly because we do have a lot to get through today. We're going to look at Spotify and Apple Music. Both are very, very similar. Spotify is a free music streaming service that does have a premium version. So you could use Spotify for free, but there are some features that are only accessible if you pay for the premium version. So Joe, if you could stop sharing, let's now take a look at Spotify a little bit. This is an app that you could download on your smartphone. If you do not have Spotify currently on your phone, you are going to have to download it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put it on the screen so everyone can see it. So here's my phone here. You should all be looking at it. I'm now on an Apple phone, but if you have an Android, it all works the exact same, which is you'll go to the App Store or go to the Google Play Store. You'll type into the search bar Spotify, the name of the app that you're looking for. And typically the first or second option will be what you're looking for, and you can click on Get to download it. Spotify is a free app. The premium version, you would, if you want to pay for that, you would do that once you have downloaded the app. So you'll see Spotify's at the bottom left of the screen. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and you'll see how just like Netflix, there are all these different categories: recently played, episodes for you, your top mixes, made for me, recommended radio. There's all these different categories if you're looking to find some sort of audio track, a song or a podcast, or a news station that you're interested in watching. But you also have the search bar at the bottom of the screen, so you could search for something or click on some of the categories. So if I click on hip hop, for example, and I click on this first song over here, you'll see how I can click on the play button, the green play button, and it will play the song for me. I am not permitted to screen share this content, but basically it's playing an advertisement right now on my phone, something that you would see if you downloaded it. Let me just screen share again. Sorry. There are some restrictions when it comes to screen sharing on Zoom. One of them is you can't screen share Spotify. Okay. So we're back here. You'll see how you can click on any of the options here. You could search. And then the premium buttons at the bottom right, which if you are interested in paying for the additional features, which include skipping songs. For example, if you there's this weird thing on Spotify. If you want to play a song, sometimes it might give you recommend songs that are related before giving you that actual song. But you could eliminate all that by by paying the monthly fee. I don't pay for it. If you are someone who uses Spotify a lot, it might make sense. But you should just be aware of Spotify's premium option, which you could browse at the bottom right of the screen. So Spotify works very similarly to Apple Music, which I'm just going to keep on the same screen. Joe, you could just explain, just similar to Spotify, how to get to it and use it.
Okay, so similar to Spotify, once you click on the Apple Music app, which is the pink square with a white music note on the bottom left of the screen, if Jordan can click on that. So everyone can see this. It says music, and then if Jordan clicks on the app, then he can see the first thing that comes up is a search bar, just like anything else. Jordan, if you can go back to the search bar. Just like everything we've showed you so far, if you're looking for a specific song or a specific podcast, you could just search that in the search bar, and it will show up without you having to look for it anywhere else. Okay. On the bottom, there are five options. The one we're on right now is search, but if Jordan goes to library all the way on the left, then we can see that these are all songs that Jordan has added to his library on his phone. And if he scrolls down, he can see recently added songs. And if he goes back up, he can see 4 categories: playlists, artists, albums, and songs. And these are just different ways to sort these songs. So if Jordan clicks on albums, then he can see all the albums he has downloaded. And then if he clicks on one of the albums, so he just clicked on the Dear Evan Hansen soundtrack, he can see that he has 4 songs from Dear Evan Hansen. Whereas if he went all the way back and he clicked on songs instead of albums, then he'd have to scroll through to get to that one specific song. So that's just another way to sort it. Another option is to browse on the bottom in the middle. It's the button with the 4 squares. And this will give you suggested music and podcasts. If Jordan scrolls down, he can see different categories. New music, on the air, music by mood, which is another way to sort it. And this is just another way to find music that you want to listen to if there's not a specific song that you want. The last option is radio. And Apple Music also allows you to listen to radio channels that you could listen to anywhere else. So if Jordan scrolls down, he can see local broadcasters, and then he can scroll through and see which radio station he would want to listen to.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Apple Music, I'll just point out, does have a monthly subscription, but the alternative is if there's like 5 songs, for example, that you love listening to, as opposed to paying the monthly subscription, you could just pay for those 5 songs. Each one's 99 cents. So as opposed to paying the monthly subscription for Apple Music, if there's a very limited selection of music or podcasts or radio stations that you love listening to, it might make sense just to fully purchase those soundtracks as opposed to having to pay monthly for full Apple Music access. If you're interested in the completely free version, we recommend using Spotify as your music platform. So overall, Spotify is if you want to get into this sort of music listening, you want to go to Spotify as a free subscription, and then YouTube as the video free subscription. If you want to take it to the next level and you want more premium content, you can look at Apple Music and Netflix, which offer much more quality products and also full television series and movies, and also additional soundtracks of music and radio stations. Okay, so we just went through 4 of the most common platforms for entertainment online. We're now going to pivot a little bit for our last 20 minutes or so and talk about online shopping, which is too similar. So we really are pivoting here. Let's talk about online shopping just very broadly for a second. I'm sure many of you have done this before, which basically means you're putting something into a cart online and you're buying it and it's showing up at your house. That's what online shopping is. But there are some key features I want to mention to all of you that you should pay very close attention to when you are online shopping. The first thing, which we actually mentioned with regard to YouTube and Julia mentioned with regard to Netflix, is the bar. You'll find always at the top of the screen, and all online shopping websites will have a search bar specific to that website. So Amazon has its own search bar. Freshdirect has its own search bar. These search bars will allow you to search the website without it interfering with other platforms, just the Amazon selection, just the Freshdirect selection. The next thing is filtering a search. Now, this we'll actually take a look at when we open up one of the sites, but very broadly, it means taking many options that you receive when you put in a broad search term and narrowing it down to find exactly what you're looking for. So for example, if I put in, I want to buy a box of tissues, for example, you can imagine how many options will come up, how many companies make boxes of tissues, how many, do you want pocket tissues, you want box of tissues, you want square box, rectangle box. There's so many different options for purchasing a box of tissues. That's why when you put that into Amazon, you'll get maybe hundreds or thousands of results. And I don't have time to go through all those results. So what filtering a search does is it allows you to narrow down that search to find exactly what you're looking for. And this will be much easier to understand when we pull up one of our sites. And then the cart, it's important to know that all online shopping websites have a virtual cart, which means that when you're interested in a product, you add it to the cart. This does not mean that you are going fully purchasing the item. That just means that you're interested, you're considering buying it, and you're putting it into the cart so that when you're ready to proceed to the final steps of checkout, you will finalize your cart, go through it. You could always delete things. So putting something into the cart is not a guarantee that you're going to buy it. You're putting it there so that you're interested. You most likely will buy it because you seem to be interested in it, but you haven't fully committed yet. And then the last thing is suggestions and history. Because you're shopping online, like I said with YouTube, with digital tracking, how it gives you advertisements based on what you've looked at in the past, on online shopping websites, it will actually recommend items based on your previous purchases. So if you love buying clothing, if you're one of those clothing shoppers, then when you go to Amazon, you should not be too surprised if you see a ton of recommended products in the clothing department. Amazon knows what you want to buy. They're trying to get you to buy things. So they're going to make sure that the first thing that you see is some new releases in the clothing department. So make sure that you're aware that when you see recommendations of things to purchase that align exactly with what you're interested in, don't be too shocked. These websites are very smart and they know what you're looking for, and they will make sure to present you with those with that sort of content. Okay, so I mentioned this very broadly, but now we're going to open up an actual website, a specific website, and I'm going to point out these things. So the first thing we're going to look at, which is, if you haven't heard of this, I don't even know what to say. I mean, the Amazon is a website that you've seen. Not only maybe you haven't used it before, but it's the front cover of every newspaper. I don't know. Amazon is something that you all should be familiar with. Amazon's a shopping website that's used to purchase anything. So there's no specific category. It's not for food. It's not for clothing. It's for everything. You can buy literally, I can't think of something right now that you cannot purchase on Amazon. So typically Amazon, it does seem to be where people go to if they are interested in purchasing something. Amazon is typically the most popular site. Amazon, what makes Amazon unique is that it does not have a retail store. You might have seen there are some like Amazon bookstores out there, but that's irrelevant. Amazon is a fully virtual. It's fully online, so you can walk into a physical store and return it like you might be able to do at Gap. Gap has an online store and it also has an in-person store, so you could purchase something online and return it in person. With Amazon, that is not the case. Everything is done fully online. So how do you get to Amazon? Well, it's the same way you would get to YouTube or Netflix, just by typing it into the search bar on the internet. But you could also download the app, like we mentioned before, just by going to the App Store or Google Play Store on your smartphone. So Joe's going to put an Amazon.com into the search bar. Typically, all websites follow this format, the website name, then .com, so that you could always guess that out or just put it into Google. So here's the Amazon homepage. So you'll see, you're in the right place. You see Amazon all the way at the top left of the screen. You will see the search bar, that specific search bar I mentioned at the top of the screen. And you know that this is just for Amazon because it is aligned with all the other Amazon content. You'll see some categories over here, like customer service, groceries, live streams, health and household, some different categories that are popular or streaming now. And also, if you scroll down, you'll get some recommendations of things to check out, some holiday deals that you might want to look at, some different, kitchen items, clothing items, tons of different categories that you could always browse through. Now, let's say I'm looking to buy a box of tissues. I like that example. Let's give that a try. Something I might do before putting in box of tissues into the search bar is click on that button directly to the left of the search bar. Does everyone see that? It says all, very small. It says ALL. What that means is what I put into the search bar now, that search term will be applied to the entire Amazon inventory. But if I go ahead and click on all, you'll see how there's a ton of different other categories. So if you scroll down, let's try and find something that I'll put in that actually might fit what I am looking for purchasing tissues. So you'll see how there's a ton of different things: games, computers, smartphones. I think home and kitchen might be a nice category for this purpose because tissues are what you use in the. You could always try things out. Let's go ahead and click on that, and let's put into the search bar tissues or a box of tissues. You'll see how it will, as you're typing, give you recommendations of things what you're looking for. And Joe will now click on the enter or return key on his keyboard. And all the results for box of tissues in the home and kitchen department will now pull up. So you'll see, if we look all the way at the top left of the screen, it will tell you how many results you have, which right now it's 719 results for tissues. Now that happens to be a lot. This is small compared to what you would typically get. If you put in computers, you could get 10,000 results. But we could actually do something to narrow down the search, and that's called filtering a search. So you'll see on the left side of the screen, there are all these options and checkboxes. And this will allow you to take the 700 plus results and bring it down to as small as one result. That is the precise item that you're looking for. So let's see what we could do. The first thing I think we'll check out is where it says brands. Let's say I really like those Kleenex tissues and I don't want anything else besides the Kleenex tissues. I'm going to go ahead and check off where it says Kleenex. And now the only results it will show me are Kleenex tissues. And you'll see how my results now went down from 700 to 238. Let's add another filter and bring this down even further. So if we scroll down, let's keep going. You'll see how there's a price filter. I don't want to spend any more than $25 on a box of tissues. So I'm going to go ahead and click on under 25. And now it will only show me results of tissues that are under $25 and that are made by Kleenex. And now if you look, we're down to 136 results. Let's add another filter and bring this down even further. Let's scroll down. And let's click on, keep going. Sure, we can click on, Joe wants to do customer reviews. So let's say we only want to buy a box of tissues that has at least 4 stars plus, because we want the best quality. We want to make sure that these tissues are excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the 4 stars and up, which means that now the only results will show other people have manually put in 4 stars and up. We're down to 121. Let's see if we could do maybe one more filter and bring it down a little further. Just keep scrolling. Let's click on let's click on deals. There's a category that says deals. Let's say we want something that's on sale. So you might want to only show products that are currently on sale. So I'm going to click on today's deals. And let's see if there are any sales on tissues. Now it looks like it actually went out of that filter because there doesn't seem to be anything on sale today. So let's go back to where we were. All right, we're now back at the 121. Let's just do here. Let's do where it says delivery date, get it by tomorrow. Does everyone see that? Let's say I really need these tissues. I need them by tomorrow, and I don't. If they're coming the following day, I don't need them anymore. So I'm going to click on get it by tomorrow. And now, as you can see, we're down to 10 results. So you can see we went from 700 to 10, and all 10 of these results are made by Kleenex, will get here by tomorrow, have 4 stars or more, and are under $25. So it fits all our credentials. And as opposed to having to go through 700 different results, we're now looking at the 10 results that perfectly match what we're looking for. Now, let's say this first option, I see it, I want to purchase it. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Once you click on it, it will tell you more information about the product, including the price, some other options. If you scroll down, you'll get some customer reviews, more information about the item, other product information and items that are recently bought together. Once you want to purchase this item or you're interested, you're going to click on add to cart, which is that yellow button found on the right side of the screen. Joe will go ahead and click on add to cart. And now we'll be put into his cart. So you'll see it will confirm added to cart. And you know it's in the cart because all the way at the top right of the screen where there's a little cart icon, you'll see a number 1. So Joe, if you X out of this for a second, you'll see if you look all the way at the top right, there's a little cart and there's a little 1 in it, which means that there's 1 item in your cart, which will in fact be this box of tissues that is under $25, over 4 stars of reviews, and we'll get here by tomorrow. Let's go ahead and click on the cart. And now you'll see here's the item that's in my shopping cart. It says my subtotal, $19.99. Joe will go ahead and click on proceed to checkout to move to his final steps of purchasing an item. For those of you who do not have an Amazon account, it will prompt you with putting in some of your information, like your home address and your credit card information, basically everything that Amazon needs to make a successful purchase. In terms of privacy and security, websites such as Amazon, Freshdirect, and these big websites, you should not be worried about putting in information. They are known to be secure and will make sure your information is safe. If you are shopping on a lower end website that maybe isn't too familiar, I would recommend doing a little bit of research before putting in your credit card and home address information, just to make sure that it's safe and secure. But when you're shopping on a website like Amazon or one Freshdirect or Barnes & Noble or Gap or one of these big time websites, that's not really something to worry about. So you'll see Joe, because he already has an account, already put in all his information, and he'll click on place your order to actually go through and make the purchase. Okay, so you'll see that's the process when you want to purchase something on Amazon. Let's look at 1 or 2 more websites that are similar. We're going to look at Freshdirect now. The difference, one of the key differences between Freshdirect and Amazon is Freshdirect is only for food. So you cannot put a box of tissues into Freshdirect and expect to get results. You have to know where you're looking. Amazon is the place for that. Freshdirect is the place for a food item. And Freshdirect is also fully virtual. So there's no in-person store you can go to. And also the products are delivered by hand. It's not something that they put in UPS and send it off. These are fresh food that they deliver to your home, hand delivered. Okay, so Julie is going to show everyone how to use Freshdirect and point out those same key features that we looked at on Amazon. Okay.
Okay, so to access Freshdirect, we're going to go back to the internet to Google and type in Freshdirect. And as Jordan said, Freshdirect is a place that you order foods from, and they're not going to ship it to you in a box. They're going to hand deliver it to you in a bag of some sorts. So this is a way to order groceries online. So as you can see, similar to Amazon, there's a search bar on top. That's where you're going to type in any specific item that you're looking for. So let's say you're coming into Freshdirect and you know that you want to buy a specific grocery. That's exactly where you would type in that item. If you want to browse and refine your search, you could see that right below the search bar, there's a bunch of different categories. And if you click on those categories, it will refine your homepage and you will only see whatever you click on. So let's say Joe wanted to buy only apples. So he could either type in apples into the search bar and that would appear, or he could click on fruits and then click on apples. And that would also bring him to a page of just apples. And you can see here now, there's a bunch of different type of apples, but let's say we wanted something more specific. So you could see that all the way on the left is another way to filter this search even more. So you could see right now we're on all products. That's what's highlighted. But let's say Joe only wants apples that come in a bag. So he would then click right here on the bags, and that would now refine his homepage to show only apples that are sold in bags. And let's say he now wanted these apples to be organic. So you could see that right now he has 12 results, but if he clicks on organic, it will now refine his search even more. So now you could see there's only 3 results. And so it's much easier to choose from when you have a lot less results on your page. You don't need to scroll through all of the results for apples. You're able to refine that. And once you choose what you're looking for, so if Joe clicks on one of these bags, you could see that he can now add that to his cart. You could change how many. So let's say Joe wanted 2 bags of apples. He would click on that little plus. You could see that now there's 2. And if you add that to your cart, you can then check out later and have that delivered. So you can see that now on the top corner, there's a little cart icon. And if he clicks on that, you'll see that there's the apples inside of Joe's cart. And let's say now Joe, he can either continue shopping, so he can type into the search bar to look for more things or click on more of those categories on top. But let's say all Joe wanted was these apples. He would then click on the checkout button and he could then type in his information. It's going to have him put in his address and a credit card and all that information. And once he does that, it will then deliver it to his house. You could see that for Freshdirect, you either need to create an account or sign into an existing account, similar to Netflix. So if we already have an account, we would click on that sign in tab and sign into our existing account. And if not, then we would have to create a new account with our email and password.
Okay, thank you, Julia. And the last thing I'll mention before we wrap up today's class is that there are certain websites such as Gap, which we actually don't have time to look at today, that allows you to go through a purchase without creating an account. So you could be like a guest shopper. For example, let's say you're buying a gift for someone on Gap, but you never plan on using Gap ever again. It might not make sense to create a full account, but just proceed to checkout as a guest, which you'll see when you add the item to your cart on a website like Gap. I think Barnes & Noble also has this option. You'll see checkout as guest as opposed to just checkout. Not something you could do on Amazon or Freshdirect, but something to keep in mind. On some websites, you might see that button, which means that you don't have to create an account, but you'll be asked to put in your information not saved just for this one purchase. Okay, so let's just recap the online shopping. We looked at Amazon and Freshdirect today, 2 of the most popular online shopping sites that are currently out there. You want to keep in mind when you go to one of these websites, make sure to search in that specific search bar so you know exactly what content you're looking for. Number 2, filter that search. Narrow it down from those thousands of results to those 10 items that match exactly what you're looking for. Make sure to do that. It saves a lot of time. Make sure to add the items to your cart, and that will actually not fully purchase the item, but present to the shopping website that you're interested in, and you will consider buying their product. And number 4, you will see tons of recommendations and suggestions on online shopping websites that will tell you this is something that you might be interested in. You might be interested in purchasing this because of items that you've previously looked at or items that you've previously